everybody, welcome to Kitchen Talk with Granna. I'm so glad you guys can get up into the kitchen with me today. This is going to be a real short, sweet and short, okay? But you guys know the routine. You know what you got to do before you get started. Go ahead, look down at the bottom of your screen, okay? Down there, take care of all that business down there. Let's just go ahead and throw that out there and get all that out of the way. We'll be done with that. At the end of the episode, you can come back and give me any reviews or any comments, okay? So let's get it popping up in here today. You guys know this is the last week for Black History, okay? So I tried to talk about something positive and bringing some Black history to you guys for the last 3 weeks, for the whole month, okay? So before we start talking about Black history, I threw together a real quick little something, and I'm only gonna give you guys a little bit of it, then the rest of it I'm gonna finish when I finish talking to you guys, okay? So I made a, what I call a Granna stuffed cornbread muffin, okay? And so it's just a stuffed cornbread muffin, okay? So basically you just make your cornbread mixture just like you would if you was making just regular cornbread muffins or cornbread, okay? And this time I just used the Jiffy cornbread mix. So just use your Jiffy cornbread mix and just follow the direction on the box, okay? So once I made my cornbread mix and stuff, and I got some here so that I could just show you guys what was going on, okay? So then what I did, I had some leftover ground beef. I didn't use the whole thing on another dish I had made earlier in the week. So I just scrambled up my ground beef. I put some onions in it, chopped up some onions, some bell peppers, and then I chopped up some green peppers, okay? So I just sauteed all that with my meat, and just cook your meat as you would if you was making any other dish with it. Just, you know, brown it up, cook it, put whatever seasoning you want to put on it. I did my usual seasoning. I did my garlic powder and my onion powder, and just season that up and let that come to a brown. Once that came to a brown, you just want to drain it just like you would any other time you was making you know, ground beef. You just drain it up, okay? So once I got all that together, then my muffin pan is in the oven. So I'm gonna show you that it's almost ready. But you just get your little muffin cups right here. And what I do with mine is I do spray them down with the olive oil spray. Just spray the inside of them up just a little bit, okay? And then I just put my little mixture in there, and I put about a spoon. I'm using these plastic spoons. I'm just putting one layer on the bottom, one layer on my little mix, okay? And then I'm putting one layer, I'm gonna put one layer on the top, okay? So once I put that in there, in my little muffin pan, put that in there, then I take my ground beef that I've already cooked, okay? Take that, I'm just bringing that over here, and I'm just gonna hold up my little muffin pans here. And then I'm just gonna put, you know, some ground beef in that mixture. And my ground beef, like I said, has my onions and my peppers. I'm just gonna sprinkle, you know, some in the bottom. Just sprinkle that off. Sorry, sprinkle that off in there. You know, just sprinkle that in there. Set that back over there. And then you want to come back and just repeat. You want to put another layer of your cornbread mix on top of your meat fixture, okay? So just put you another layer on there. Now what I did with mine before I did the second layer of my cornbread mix, I did put just a tad of butter, and I did the plant-based butter. You know, just my tab of my plant-based butter. I just put that in there before I put that second layer of cornbread mixture. Okay, over here. Okay. I'm so sorry. So I just mixed all that together. I put a layer of cornbread mixture on the bottom of my little muffin pan, and then I put my ground beef mixture in there. Then I put just a little bit of my butter, and you can use any kind of butter you want. Of course, I got the plant-based butter. Put that on top of the meat, and then I put my second layer of my batter mix, my cornbread batter mix on top of that. And then I'm done with that. So I'm gonna put that in the oven, and that'll cook about About 15 minutes, you know, however long it takes your cornbread to brown, because like I said, your ground beef is already done. So that's all gonna come together and brown together. So while that's in the oven cooking, with my leftover onions that I had and my peppers, what I'm gonna do with that, I actually, I cut up me some potatoes, just the golden white potatoes. So I just sliced them up, you know, like in slices like this, slices here. And I'm gonna take the rest of my onions, my sliced onions, and I'm gonna do a scallop potato. I'm just gonna do onions and scallop potatoes, okay? And I'm just gonna do those inside of my my cast iron skillet, okay? So I'm gonna set those over here for right now, but when I get ready to do that, I'm gonna put a little bit of the grapeseed oil in that skillet along with a little bit of butter. And then I'm just gonna let those, just saute those potatoes and onions together, you know, basically like scallop potatoes. So that's what I'm gonna do with that. And that's gonna be my dinner for tonight. So, but the cornbread stuffing, the stuffed cornbread muffins, it's kind of like a hush puppy. It's just I have a meat stuffing in it, but it's kind of like making a hush puppy. You're just not frying it. And you can probably, I haven't tried it yet, but I may try frying this one day with some type of stuffed meat in it and do it that way. I might try that, okay? But I'm gonna pull that out of the oven real quick and show you guys. It should be ready. And then once we finish with that, I'm gonna sit down and we're gonna talk a little bit about Black history, okay? Let me pull this out the oven. Oh yeah, that is definitely ready. I'm gonna go ahead and turn my oven off. And my oven was on 350, and like I say, this has been in the oven for about 15 minutes, okay? So this is something you can throw together less than 25 minutes, okay? All right, so here we go, okay? And I'm gonna go ahead, let me show you guys what it's looking like. This is hot. You can see I just pulled this out the oven. But here's my muffins right here. Here they go right here, just little muffins. Okay, and you can see that pepper in there, you can see that meat. And what I'm gonna do while it's hot and I just pulled it out the oven, I'm gonna go ahead and put just a little bit more butter on the top of it. You know, just a little bit. I'm just gonna get my knife that I had earlier. And I'm just gonna put a little bit of the butter here on the top and let that go like that. Now, when I fix my potatoes later, I'm not gonna make another meat dish because I'm basically just gonna eat it like this. You know, it ain't no big deal. I'm not really a big meat person. So I may end up baking some chicken for Dad to go with his scalloped potatoes. So I might definitely later on do some chicken for him. But as far as me, this is it. This is a meal for me. I'm done. So I'm gonna put that butter on, and that butter just gonna melt off in there and give it that little golden color. Okay, looks really good. They smell awesome. Ooh, they smell so good. Okay, so there we go. That is basically it. That is what I've thrown together so far, and that's, like I said, that's gonna be my meal. Let me see if I can get one of these up out of here and bring it to you just a little bit closer because they're all gonna be hot. Let me put them on my paper towel. It's gonna be hot, but I'm gonna bring that over there to you like that. Okay, let me bring it to you so you guys can actually check it out, okay? There you go, there go that muffin right there, okay? See that muffin? That's a cornbread stuffed muffin. All right, there you go with that butter melted on there, okay? Since I got this one out, I'll go ahead on and taste it. I'm gonna sit these over here on the stove because they are still hot. So I'm gonna sit these back here. Here we go, here we go, here we go. There we go. Sit this right there. Gonna put up this right here. Okay, let me just take a little tab of this right here. Taste this and see what I got going on up in here, okay? You guys still with me? You still with me over there? I know I'm doing some moving around and all that, but you guys still with me? So I'm gonna get all this little stuff out the way here. And I'm gonna take a little tab. I'm gonna bring you a little bit closer to me. So I'm gonna pull you just a little bit closer, okay? So if I go out of the screen for just a second, hold on, I'll be right back. Here we go, here we go. There we go. All right. So now I'm going to sit down right here and I'm going to finish up this conversation with you guys, okay? So let me taste this real quick and see what it's tasting like up in here. All right, let me get a bite of this muffin. And you definitely need to let it cool off just a little bit before you pull it out of your muffin liner. But it's basically just cornbread. That is good. I mean, I fixed it before, so of course it's good to me. But that's just a little something. This is also good, definitely good when you got some collard greens or some turnip greens. You put your little, little mixture of meat up in there. It's really good right there. I'm gonna get a sip of water, and then I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna get into this Black History Month, okay? All right, okay. All right, so I'm done with that little quick meal. Okay, now I will tell you before we start on the Black History Month, when you have your leftover vegetables, what I used to do with mine, my peppers and my onions and all that, if I didn't use it up in a couple of days after cutting, especially my onions, I would just throw them away. My niece over in Granna, Tamika, shout out to you, girl. She was like, T, don't throw it away. Put it all together in a storage bag, put it in the freezer, freeze it, and then you can make your own vegetable stock. So that's what I've been doing with all my leftover vegetables. I put them in a big bag, freeze them, and then I just put it all in a pot and just make a vegetable stock out of it. So thanks, Tamika, appreciate it. Okay, so like I say, this is the last week of Black History. I have really enjoyed going back and reading up on some of the things that we as African American has brought to the history books, okay? So I'm gonna try to finish up this week the same way, okay? I do know though, on next week, with the last week of the month, they're gonna be having the Kobe and Gigi's memorial of their life of celebration. So maybe after that airs on TV, they'll be doing that at the Staples Center, then we can come back and we can talk about that a little bit, okay? All right. Okay, so let's get it going. Oh, I also want to go ahead and put it out there. Last week, one of my favorite actresses passed away. Miss Janae DeBoss passed away, and that was Relona on Good Times. Everybody knew Relona on Good Times. She was such a feisty actress on there, and she just brought so much to the show. So she passed away last week at the age of 74. I think she was 74. But I just want to send shout outs and rest in peace to Miss Janae DeBoss. I really enjoyed her when she was on the screen, bringing us all that entertainment. And not only was she an actress, she was also a songwriter and a singer. Okay, she wrote the theme song to the Jefferson Show, "Moving On Up." We all know "Moving On Up," the Jefferson. So she did that also. And like I said, back in the days, like I said, that was one of my shows. Good Times, The Jeffersons, Sanford and Son. Those were some of my favorite shows because that's what I grew up on, okay? So just wanted to go ahead and, put that out there for her. May she rest in peace, okay? So that was just one of the things that I wanted to talk to you guys about. So did you also know that in 1974, Miss Mary Wallace was the first female, black female driver for the Chicago transit system. She had wanted to do that, and she was able to. It was one of her dreams that she was able to accomplish that, and she drove for the Chicago transit system for over 30 years. So she made that her career. Okay, so that was just something I wanted to throw out there at you guys also. I'm so sorry. But that was just something I wanted to throw out there at you guys. Did you also know Miss Mary Hardway Walker? She was born into slavery back in 1848, and she was born in Union Springs, Alabama. And she lived, a full life. For centuries, she had to deal with being born into slavery. She had to deal with discrimination for centuries and centuries and centuries. And at the age of 116, she learned, that's when she was able to learn how to read and write. I mean, at 116, can you imagine that? I mean, just all the stuff that she went to, and then she still continued to live a full life. She lived to be 116 years old. Wow, that's amazing right there. You know, she did not pass away until 1969. But it's just amazing, you know, some of these stories that I have read throughout this month that we as African American has done and just surviving, you know. And then you come across someone like Miss Walker here, Miss Mary Hardaway Walker, that lived to be 116 years old, and you look back at all the stuff that she had to go through, you know, it's just amazing how strong you were back then. You know, you just had to be. So that's just amazing. I really appreciate going back and reading and learning some of the things that I had forgotten about. Okay, but thank you guys so much for hanging in the kitchen with me today. You know the routine. As you go about your day today, make sure everybody you come in contact with, you give them a smile, you give them a word of encouragement. If you have time, take a few minutes and just listen to them. They may be in some kind of way, feeling some kind of way, but with you listening to them and giving them a word of encouragement, it could change their whole day. And make sure you just spread the love, okay? Just spread the love, give a smile, and a word of encouragement. Thank you guys so much for hanging out in the kitchen with me today. I will see you guys in a few. Okay? Bye.